you took this girl through media day, and then the next day you're like, it's a no for me, dog. Hi, welcome back to Balanced Sports, a show where we try to balance the level of coverage of sports across the gender spectrum. I'm Hunter.
I'm Jewelz.
And thanks for watching. This week, we are jumping back into the WNBA with games starting this week. Jewelz, who are you excited to see?
Everyone. I'm just excited to have WNBA on my TV again. Like, I'm really excited to see every team possible play.
So this week we have Indiana at Washington. We have LA at Chicago. That'll be really fun. I love seeing Candace play against her old team.
Yeah.
And LA is going to be quite the show this year. Las Vegas Aces versus the Phoenix Mercury. And then as a nightcap, we are going to get the Seattle Storm versus the Minnesota Lynx.
So as we gear up for May 6th, let's get into who got cut, who got waived, the difference between... Let's get into some of the terminology as we head into the season. To be waived means their contract is not yet terminated. They are available to be claimed by other teams. If another team does pick up the player, they then join said team with the conditions of the current contract. Could you explain that to a 5-year-old?
Can I explain it to myself? I signed a contract based on coming to this team's training camp, but then once I'm waived, they don't necessarily owe me anything. They have relinquished.
They don't want you.
I ain't there and I'm out.
What if Ryan Howard... I don't want to put that out. I don't want to put that energy out. What if wonk gets injured? Because
then you can apply for a hardship waiver saying we don't have enough players now to fill out our roster.
And cut means bye. Like you're done.
Bye.
But I don't typically see that. It rarely says, by rarely, I mean, I have not seen this season anyone be cut. It always says waived, cleared for waivers, and then your name just kind of fades as we're going. Have you seen anyone that says cut? The
terms waiving and cutting are sometimes used interchangeably when it comes to the NBA.
Wait,
y'all know who we're talking about, but this was the only thing we can find. WNBA folks, create more content. We out here doing it. Why can't you tell me about the CBA? Anywho, based on NBA's analysis, cutting a player in the NBA means that you are no longer going to use them on your roster. Doesn't waiving mean the same thing? Whereas waiving is putting another team's waived player up for grabs by other league teams over 24 hours. Because it immediately removes them from your ranks without any chance at playing with any other league teams. So cutting somebody's like, you're out. You're cut.
The league.
You're cut.
You're done.
Dang.
So no one wants to do that. You want to give someone an opportunity.
Trying to get cut.
Yeah.
If you see a player get cut, then the tea is hot. Give us the scoop.
And this is given that the WNBA rules are the exact same as the NBA. Because
it is given.
We couldn't find any. I find it not cute that on Twitter teams post usually a picture of a player that they've released and it's like, thank you so much for your 3-day service or something. I'm just like,
It's a no for us this year, sweets. And you're like, holy mother, like y'all just went through all that. You took this girl through media day and then the next day you're like, it's a no for me, dog.
Okay, so let's now move into some notable players who have been cut and released. And we can also talk about some players who have been signed.
Or thriving. Henny, we're talking about you, Henny.
And also Nafisa Collier just got a contract extension, so that's really exciting.
While she's out, like big baller status right there. Wow, we're talking about getting cut. Meanwhile, Nafisa's like, yeah, I haven't worked in months and I'm out here signing extensions.
What's good? I would like to start with Kristen Williams.
You hate when anyone gets injured. But I just thought it was like such an exciting time for her. I do think that she would have had not a lot of pressure on her at the Mystics, on the Mystics roster, on that team. She could have learned a lot. And yeah, she blew her knee out. And as people who have done that, we hate to see it. I probably triggered.
Yeah, so she's injured and was waived by the Mystics. So who else is on your notable waived cut bye-bye list?
Taj Cole was waived today by the Connecticut Sun. She performed really well in Athletes Unlimited this summer. In fact, she was the highest ranked player on the leaderboard that wasn't a WNBA player. Sometimes these players are so good. It's just it was a bad fit for her maybe in Connecticut, right? Maybe they're really heavy on guards, but I think when players make it this far, sometimes in the training camps that other teams will sometimes give them a call or a chance to come in and compete on their roster. But I was sad to see Taj Cole cut.
The other person on my list was, as you all may remember, I was rooting for Faustine Afue, and she was waived. And so I'm sad about that. She's one of the players I just like, yeah, you're going to make it. And then she hasn't yet. I'm not going to say didn't. I'm going to say she hasn't yet.
A couple other rookies have done really well there. Maisha Hollingshed and Kirsten Bell. We're not talking about that right now, but keep it up, girlies. Talking about players that are not getting cut. Really bummed to see both Lauren Cox and Amani McGee Stafford, players that were waived. I'm not like president of their fan clubs, but you just want them to make these rosters. They're doing a lot to try to come back and compete. And those are some big names. I was very sad that didn't make the cut. On this team, you can always come back and make another roster. Some rookies that are still on the teams that maybe are getting the rookie scale contract exemption that we're talking about, or designation that we're talking about, is the entire Indiana Fever roster. I've really enjoyed watching them, honestly. And I was specifically harsh on them because it was like, what direction are they going in? And then I feel like they've actually started cutting or getting rid of more veteran players. And it seems really clear to me now that this team is like, we are young, we are energy, and we're just going to play these players that are going to go out there and really compete. I mean, I've loved seeing Queen Egbo be super successful. Melissa Smith is going to be great. Destiny Henderson has gotten starting positions, and Lynn Dunn, the GM, said she didn't fall to us. Like, we grabbed her in the second round. They were so excited to get Destiny Henderson, and she's starting now. That's amazing for them. I
am drawing comparisons to the Memphis Grizz. I'm not going to say anybody is so and so and so. They're all going to be the best versions of themselves, but a young team, a young core, exciting to watch. Like, that's what I'm thinking Indiana is going to give us.
That is such a great comparison. I feel like they're going to be similar to the Grizzlies, and maybe they'll have the same trajectory, of having a fun season this year, but maybe the record won't indicate it. But it does seem like with this really young, exciting talent they have, that at least it's something to build upon.
When is the last time you were excited about Indiana Fever?
Never. No, it was Tamika Catchings. I was the biggest. I met Tamika Catchings one time at an airport.
Is everyone else experiencing this?
I was like, right, guys, we're all looking at Tamika Catchings. She was just like, sir, please leave me alone. It was great. No, she was really sweet. We got a picture. That was the last time I was excited personally about the Indiana Fever. Okay, I mean, the games are starting this week, right? So the team this is so problematic of me. It says a lot about me. The team that I'm most excited to watch, because chaos reigns supreme, is the LA Sparks. I mean, if you're a fan of the W and you've known a thing or two about that, shall we say, drama that have surrounded some of these players at places, their media day was also hilarious. I just am so excited to see how they're all going to be paired up together.
Who do you have for a starting five?
Liz Cambage, Nneka Ogwumike. I'm starting Brittany Sykes. I'm starting Kennedy. And then I think I'm going to throw Katie Lou Samuelson in there for a shooter. They're going to want to spread the floor a little bit more. Not that those other girls can't, but Katie Lou kind of comes in as the shooter. They've got a lot deeper roster than they've had in years past.
Okay. All right. To close out this episode, we're going to talk about where you can watch WNBA games.
All games this year will be on the WNBA League Pass. That is a really, really well worth your money kind of subscription. It's $24.99 for the entire season. You have a lot of stats. There's a lot of access to different games. And yeah, you can watch on the WNBA League Pass app almost all the games. Other teams are also signing kind of exclusive deals. We have the Seattle Storm, who just got a deal from Amazon Prime.
Yes, Amazon Video, I think is officially what it's called. And that's a really big deal because the majority of money for professional sports leagues come from advertisement, and hopefully opens the door for other teams or the league as a whole to get that advertising dollar and to get in front of people. And so it's a big deal, and I'm super excited for them.
Me too. I've seen a lot more like kind of deals and sponsorships. I know Minnesota Lynx signed with Bally Sports. Bally. They're going to be covered on that channel now. Facebook's going to be doing some games. I know that they have games on YouTube channel. A lot of these games this weekend are also on NBA TV. So you can always go look at the WNBA League Pass, but we'll do a little breakdown rundown real fast of where the WNBA is saying right now you can find these games. The first game of the day on Friday will be the Indiana Fever at Washington Mystics. This game will be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can find this Commissioner's Cup game broadcasted on Facebook. We have the LA Sparks at Chicago Sky. This game will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this will be on NBA TV. The Las Vegas Aces will be visiting the Phoenix Mercury at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this game is a Commissioner's Cup game as well on NBA TV. And then finally, to close out opening day, we will have the Minnesota Lynx visiting the Seattle Storm at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, another Commissioner's Cup game. And while we're talking about this, we're sick of not showing preseason games. Why can't you just show it live stream? Mm-hmm. That is so easy to do. In fact, the way we were having to watch these games over the weekend was scouring through Twitter, trying to find random one-off people. Thank you, those of you that were doing these
doing
streams,
the work,
doing the work. But it shouldn't be left up to a fan to be streaming their Wi-Fi services from the stands. There are so many easy, I would say, already built-in outlets for them to just show and air these games. I don't know why you wouldn't just show more preseason games. People are really excited about this.
No sense at all. Honestly, I don't understand why it's not a part of the WNBA League Pass as well. Like $24 to just have all access. We're saying we're fans. We're saying we want to, more. I just throw them up there. Like, it can't be that hard. You've mentioned the Commissioner's Cup a couple of times. Would you just briefly kind of remind everyone the significance of the Commissioner's Cup?
Yeah, so the Commissioner's Cup is kind of a tournament that happens within the regular season that will have its own championship game. So you'll have Eastern Conference teams playing each other, Western Conference teams playing each other. Each team gets 10 games.
As they're building out the schedule, the Commissioner's Cup is like, this game's Commissioner's Cup, this game is just kind of like randomly.
Yeah, and I was actually reading earlier that the players last year didn't really understand it, know what it was about, or they sometimes didn't even know which games were technically designated Commissioner's Cup game. I think it's amazing for the players. The winning team will receive $500,000, and each player will receive about $30,000 in bonus pay. The incentive is obviously that these games should matter to you from day one.
It's a way to make the regular season matter and to put a financial incentive to play hard and make the game, entertaining and go all out. So we will be in attendance for the opening day of the WNBA. We'll be going to the Lynx Storm game on Friday. So we are super excited about that.
Very excited. And I've heard that stadium's incredible, so I'm excited to see it.
So you should follow us on Twitter and Instagram so we can show you what we see. We also did a really fun video covering Division I softball, so feel free to check that out. So that's really exciting. As we're branching out and talking about other sports, support all of them.
All right, be sure to check in for our next video as we are going to be doing some game day picks and a new segment we call Pick 'em. It was decided just then. We decide what the name is, say it out loud, and our partner has no choice but to stand.
Pick 'em.
We would also like to give a shout out to our fans who have been so amazingly commenting, liking, and subscribing to the show. We love interacting with you guys. We love that you're enjoying the show. Please feel free to leave us any comments on things you'd like to see or just a good laugh.
Yeah, we're really enjoying it. We're loving talking about sports and talking with y'all, and we hope y'all enjoying it. I'm Jewelz with Down Sports.
I'm Hunter.